Hello, solopreneurs, and welcome to the Solopreneur Life Podcast. This week, I had an incredible interview with who's now a friend. Rebecca Wiener McGregor is someone really special. She has such a unique history and such a unique message that all of us need to hear as solopreneurs. Now, this is information about how to love yourself and take care of yourself as you're growing your business. Things that will help you actually grow your business faster rather than trying to muddle through it with the same techniques that you've been using in the past. So much of the growth that we experience as solopreneurs is internal growth. And when we deal with those things, it's amazing how much fruit we see in everything we touch. So if you want to learn about courage, about self-confidence, about actually building your business with more confidence, you need to tune in to this interview. So welcome to the Solopreneur Life Podcast. I am your host, Kathryn Aragon, and here our mission is to help solopreneurs and freelancers just like you grow and scale your business to six figures and beyond without overwhelm and without burnout. It's a tricky business, but you can do it. And in a minute, I'm going to introduce Rebecca and let you watch that interview or listen to the interview if you're on the podcast. And in the meantime, take a minute to subscribe. We want you to tune in every week when we release a new podcast episode. So my guest today is Rebecca Wiener McGregor. She is an amplifier of love and a catalyst for breakthroughs. She shares her gifts as a transformational hypnotist and money mindset coach, committed to helping visionary women live their truth, step into their divine purpose, and create the life of their dreams. Since 2004, she has helped thousands of clients release old blocks, traumas, loss, and hidden fears to find a deeper sense of self-worth and determination to live life on their own terms. Rebecca's clients include spiritual entrepreneurs, coaches, healers, executive, entertainers, and influencers, people who have a message to share with the world. She's worked with women across the country and around the world to release limiting beliefs and rewire their subconscious minds to feel limitless. I'm having trouble with that word today. Take action and create a life filled with abundance. She's the author of the book Loving Her, 10 Loving Standards to Call Forward the Wealth Woman Inside You. And so with that, let's go ahead and get started. Well, hello, Rebecca. It is so good to have you with us today.
Hey, Kathryn. I'm so glad to be here.
So tell me a little bit about your business.
This business is such a part of me. It's been a part of me since 2004, so 17 years.
Wow.
I've been in this business. Yeah. And it started out with me really needing to fill a need with myself and healing some things that I had going on. I had some anxiety happening. And I healed that with hypnosis, and then felt like I get to now go help people heal, really help them heal themselves, because that's what happens in hypnosis. And so I've really enjoyed that path. I love working with people to heal anxiety and panic and anger and those kinds of things, help healing loss. And
so are you do consulting or coaching with people? What exactly is the nature of the business?
So it's a little bit of both. Okay. So I'm a hypnotist and I'm a coach. I'm a money mindset mentor, and I also do some business strategy. So I really work with people who have a deep spiritual connection with their work. Spiritual entrepreneurs are my people, and are really working to develop these beautiful relationships with themselves so that they can be their best in their business, in their work, and in their life.
I really love that. Have a beautiful relationship with yourself. Yeah. Tell me more about that.
The core of being a good relator to anybody else is to have a good relationship with yourself. And as I've been on this journey with myself, I feel like the thing that stood out the most to me and still continues to stand out is the depth of the relationship I have with myself and my spirituality. That continues to grow. And as that continues to grow, my relationships with other people get easier. My trust of myself grows, my trust of other people grows, right? It all is a reflection of what's happening internally. And that trust is really required to allow ourselves to grow in our businesses and to let ourselves really take off in our business, that we can trust what's going to happen.
Yes. And I really love what you're saying here. They're in two levels, actually. One is this trust thing, because if we trust ourselves, we are way more courageous in stepping into the unknown. And as entrepreneurs, isn't that what we're doing? We're always stepping into the unknown. But I also really love this having a better relationship with yourself. I guess this is such a big need right now. We judge ourselves so harshly. And I heard a woman, what was it she said? She said she basically despised herself. Mm-hmm. And I think how tragic to carry those feelings with yourself everywhere you go. So when you hear someone saying something like that, how do you respond?
That feeling of despising herself, that didn't happen today, right? That happened most likely 0 to 8 years old was the beginning of that. And what I would anticipate then is, if she wanted to do the work on that, to go back and heal those memories that created that feeling, because that feeling is not a standalone problem. It is a symptom of stuff that's not been healed. And in the present moment, starting to release judgment of herself, trying to not look at herself as being bad or good or right or wrong or positive or negative, but kind of leaning back and noticing what's happening in her life. Notice how she's responding. Notice how it feels when she judges herself. She's judging everybody else too, most likely, because when we're judging ourselves, it's really easy for us to get super critical with the other people around us, right? And with the world at large. And to notice where those same thoughts keep popping up and choosing a different thought to have in those places. Just one new thought.
So really, it's a choice. Do you maintain that thought, or do you give yourself a new thought? Right. Is it for you? Do you see it as telling a new story, or just trying to learn a new habit of replacing those thoughts?
It can be telling a whole new story. It's creating a whole new self-image, right? Mm-hmm. Because if she's going to go from someone who despises herself to someone who loves herself, she's going to have to see herself in a whole new way.
That is so true.
She gets to see her past in a whole new way. Not as something that happened to her, but something that happened for her, and is a way to grow. And I recognize that that's a really difficult statement for a lot of people to hear, right? Because some of us have had really horrible things happen. And I'm not taking away from the pain of any of that. And if we choose, we can look at each experience that we've had in our lives as an opportunity for growth, because growth does not happen when we're comfortable.
That's a good point.
Really uncomfortable.
Yes. So lean into the discomfort rather than trying to run away from it.
Yeah. And let your body feel it, because it will go away faster than saying, oh, this is that feeling I hate to feel, and trying to avoid it. It actually compounds the feeling, because you're attaching a judgment to it that it's not a good feeling. Mm-hmm. So it gets stronger and stays longer. If we just notice the feeling and we're not judging it as bad or good, we can actually direct it to flow through our body and right out our feet, and we get to move on to the next thing.
I love that. Do you feel like, my audience is entrepreneurs, people who are trying to start their own business. And I know that so many times what hangs us up are this baggage we carry around with us. Do you feel it's actually possible to hit your full potential as a business person if you don't deal with these issues from our childhood or from our past?
I think it's possible. It's going to be a whole heck of a lot harder.
Really? So
you can make things so much easier on yourself if you get into a state of acceptance, right? Because what happens when we're in a state of acceptance is we have spaces between our thoughts where judgment formerly lived.
Oh, I like that. So what do we do with those spaces then?
We get inspired.
Okay.
We get messages about what we get to do, what the next step is. We get to celebrate. We get to feel gratitude. We get to feel excitement. We get to feel white space between our thoughts where other things can grow and develop. That
quiet. Yes. I think where judgment and anger and frustration used to live, there's now quiet.
Yes. Yes. And the tone of judgment is so harsh to ourselves and to other people. And our brain doesn't really know if we're talking to ourselves about, or if we're talking about somebody else. So judgment of any kind is so harsh on us because we take every single thing that we hear as if it's about us.
Now, here's where I see this being incredibly important. November was a little bit of a challenging month for me. I've got a very successful business, but on one day I lost 2 clients. And that can be a kick in the head.
Yes.
Now, if I was one of these people who took everything personally, it would be really easy to believe, oh, I'm a failure. I should just give up right now. Absolutely. But not having those harsh thoughts about myself and understanding that, nope, this is just part of the journey. I will get back up, dust myself off, and keep going. I think that makes a difference.
Oh, absolutely. Because our resilience, we're talking about that before we got on camera.
Yes.
How important that is. And our ability to bounce back that time is shorter when we're not in so much judgment about what happened. It still can be, it stinks that you lost 2 clients in a day. What a shot. That's a rough day to say, oh, I had plans for that income. I had plans for those clients. I had plans for all the things that come with that, right? That's just natural part of being an entrepreneur. But if you get in a state of, oh, what did I do wrong? I really screwed this up. What's wrong with me? What did they see about me that I didn't see? And that the stuff that trails out of that, could take weeks for you to get back from that.
I've called that in the past a vortex. It's like you get sucked into a whirlpool and it pulls you down. And it's the deeper you go, the harder it is to see light.
Yes.
So are there tricks other than hypnosis for coming out of the vortex?
Yes. Well, first of all, the first thing is to build your awareness, right? We can't start to heal it if we don't know what's happening. And if you're not right where you want to be, there's usually something that gets to be healed, right? There's something that is standing between you and what it is that you want. And when you said, reaching your full potential, like you'll keep moving into your next level of potential as you grow, right? By being in the place where you feel your best right now, where you feel like, okay, I'm strong right now. I have this level of mastery in my feelings, this level of mastery in my awareness of my feelings. I have this level of mastery of helping myself and coaching myself through these experiences. That makes everything so much easier. But that awareness is that first piece that says, okay, if I don't feel good in my body, then something's happening. Let me pay attention to what the thoughts are. Because the thought that doesn't feel good in your head will create a feeling that doesn't feel good in your body. Tension on your shoulders, heart palpitations, heaviness on your stomach or heaviness on your chest, headaches.
I get a knot in my gut at those moments. Yes.
Yes. And it can be, for everybody, it's a little bit different. It could even be like lower back pain. It just won't go away. Yeah. So when we're noticing that our body is feeling a feeling, tune into what your thoughts are at that moment. What have I been thinking about? What's the idea that I've told myself is a truth that I could shift into something else right now? This thought that I did something wrong with these clients, what could I shift that into? That if they decided to quit, they weren't the right fit for me. And they excluded themselves, which is exactly what they need to do for me so that I can move on to people who really, really want to work with me.
I love that. So many times we try to, I think we're drawn to those toxic areas, almost as a way of, yes, I think I can overcome this, or maybe just believing that's all we have. That's all that we will ever be there for us. But this idea that we can choose a better environment, we can create a better environment that's not toxic, that's healthy, and a place where we can succeed. I think that is so important for us to understand that we have the power to do that.
Yes, we're very powerful. When we set our intention, when we commit to a vision or a desire, and we take steps in that direction, we are very, very powerful. And our thoughts and our ego is very powerful, trying to keep us safe. So our ego will fight tooth and nail to keep us safe. And that usually means staying in the same spot. It's our spirit that wants to grow and expand and meet this vision that it has for us. So when those thoughts come up, we can acknowledge, okay, this is ego. This is my fear trying to keep me safe. Thank you for trying to keep me safe. And this is what I want to do now. Yes. Instead of, what's wrong with you? I'm fine. Taking the tone of, okay, thank you for that. Thanks for trying to keep me safe. Let's allow ourselves to take a step. Even though we're a little scared, let's take a step. Even though it's unnerving, even though we don't know what's going to happen next, even though I don't know what's on the other side, I'm going to take this step. And the more we do that, the more we trust ourselves to feel the feelings on the other side of that step. It's not about becoming fearless, because we don't want to not be fearless. Actually, it's not healthy or safe to be fearless, but we get to have less fear and more confidence.
And that's so important, isn't it?
Yes. And the confidence is really saying, I'm willing to feel the feelings that come up if this doesn't go as I planned. If I get rejected, if this company doesn't like my pitch, if I ask this person out on a date and they say no, or I ask this person out on a date and they break up with me, or I get this client and they leave, like, I'm willing to put myself out there, because this step is going to teach me something. It's going to let me move past this present moment where I am, closer, further into my vision, further into this next level of myself.
This is beautiful, beautiful. I just love the way you're talking about this, because this acceptance and this courage that comes from it, that's the key. I honestly believe if we don't step into that and learn how to do that, we will always struggle to achieve our goals.
Yes. When we're trying to make sure everything is perfect and easy before we take a step, we stay in the same spot for a long, long time.
Mm-hmm. We have to take the step.
Really rough place.
Yeah. We have to take that step and trust that we'll learn how to fly as we fall.
Yes.
It's a little trite, but it's true.
It's not even trite. It is the truth.
Yeah.
Right? It is the truth that when we first take that step as a baby, with our little Flintstone feet gripping the earth, like so wobbly, we start to build confidence because we fall down on our little diapered butts and we get up and we try again because we're tenacious. Mm-hmm. We want to learn how to do this thing because we know we have it in us. And the same is true with an entrepreneur. The entrepreneur mind knows that it's going to have to create its career, right? It's going to have to create the next opportunity. It already lives on and thrives on creativity. And there is a tenaciousness that is in there. I see this vision for myself. I see this freedom of this opportunity that I've created for myself and this way of being that I see for myself, that I have to get up again. And even if I wobble, even if it's just a baby step, I have to get up and move forward again.
It is so true. This is a great example because it's, as babies, we are courageous. So we see these big people walking around us. We want to walk as well.
Yes.
How do we lose that?
We lose that because stuff happens.
So,
usually in our very young lives, it's 0 to 3, 0 to 8, maybe. Mm-hmm. The first things that happen to us that give us feelings of fear or doubt or shame or guilt or I didn't do that well enough. And then we recreate those things over and over in our lives to make ourselves right about how bad or good we are.
To confirm our suspicions about ourselves.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. To keep our perceived self safe. That's what our ego loves to do.
Right.
And we make those perceptions when we're itty bitty babies.
And we don't know enough to be making that kind of a judgment.
Exactly.
Yes, it's such a shame.
It's a shame.
Really?
And we don't even get our full frontal lobe until we're 27, 28 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're like, what have I been doing wrong my whole life? I have all these fears now, and I'm starting to notice them, and I have to start working on them. And we know that it is really about bringing deep acceptance to what has been,
Mm-hmm.
and joy and appreciation for what is, and excitement for what can be.
Beautiful. I love that. So before this happened, before your journey began as an entrepreneur, did you visualize yourself starting a business, or was that the furthest thing from your imagination?
It was always there, even when I was young. Yeah. It's been there my whole life. My parents are entrepreneurs. I don't think that spirit ever really goes away. And I witnessed them start businesses. They had a restaurant. They had a motivational plaque business. They had, just different opportunities throughout my young years, even, that I witnessed the joy of their ideas and bringing their ideas into life, bringing their ideas to life. And my parents really, unbeknownst to them, ingrained this idea in me that there are no bad ideas. Because I witnessed them try things, and maybe it wasn't always as successful as they wanted, but they would try again. And then that thing would be better than the last. And so on, allowing the idea that there's no wrong idea, there's no bad idea. It just gets to develop into whatever it's supposed to. Either you have the idea and you decide it's not really in alignment with what I want. Maybe I had that idea because it looked good on somebody else's resume, or the idea comes and it gets to blossom and grow into something else. But if we start to judge the ideas as bad or good, then we stop having ideas because we don't want to be wrong.
That is so true. The whole art of creativity, of creating, is anything goes. Yes. And so you had a really good example from an early age. That's probably the best gift your parents could have given you, I think.
Oh my gosh. I have goosebumps when I think about it. I'm so grateful for all those opportunities that they let me witness.
Yes.
They took. Yeah.
Awesome. So what was your first entrepreneurial venture?
Oh, what was my first entrepreneurial venture? In high school, I was a babysitter, and you may not consider that entrepreneurial unless you looked at my schedule and what I would try to fit in to be able to babysit the cutest babies and to build an income for myself. And then it kind of grew from there. I was in network marketing, different companies there. I think there was a lot of possibility there. It wasn't a good fit for me at the time. And just starting little things, do a little project here, and then I do another project similar to that for somebody else. And then it built into something, which is kind of how my business built into from just becoming a hypnotist to what it is today. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
So you went and decided, okay, hypnosis is my thing. It worked for me. I want to learn how to do it. Is that kind of how it began to evolve?
There's always a story behind the story, right?
Right.
My undergrad was in psychology. My graduate school was in psychology as well. And I had a job that I really did not like at all, any of the days that I ever worked that job. But I had a really good friend there who just happened to see some show about hypnosis and asked me what I knew about it. He thought it would be good for me to learn how to do. He thinks that I'd be able to help people with it. And he suggested that we start learning together. And I said, okay, you find us a great teacher. Remember, I had anxiety at this time. So it wasn't in my character really to say, sure. And I did. I said, sure. And I said, find us a great teacher and I'll go and we can, figure this out together. And he found us a great teacher and then he ditched me.
Oh, no.
I know. And it was not in my character at all at the time, not in my nature, I should say, to go at the time with these anxious feelings. And I completed the training by myself. And when I left the training, I had no anxiety, and I've never had it since the way that I had it beforehand.
Oh, that's amazing.
Anxiety.
That's a good testimonial right there.
Yes. Yeah, which made me really skip out of training to think, like, how can I go save the world now?
Yes.
For all the people who have anxiety. And his name is Jordan. And I thank him every year on my certification date, because he changed my life with asking me one question. And that was, what do you know about hypnosis?
Oh, yes. Okay. So that just, it's almost like throwing a rock into the pond and the ripples start going out. Yes.
And now he's helped, because of his question to me, he has helped thousands of people, because I've helped thousands of people. We never know where a ripple's going to start or how it's going to continue, do we?
That's true.
Yeah.
Very true.
Yeah.
So what do you like most about being an entrepreneur?
Everything. I absolutely love being an entrepreneur. I like to create my own standards, and I like to create my own rules. And I love to create my own schedule. I love to be the freedom of creating my own income. When I was young and in a corporate job, I was really attached to that every other Friday payday. Mm-hmm. And the scarcity that I felt, the fear that I felt about leaving that behind. And knowing now that I can create income for myself every day, that I don't have to worry about that. Mm-hmm. And then I get to take Fridays off, and then I get to take Mondays off when I want, and I get to take a week off for my birthday, and, like, just creating a life around a passion that I love so much. My work, this work that I get to do, it was in me. The vision was in me, right? Just like for you, the vision was already in there. The desire was already in there. I didn't know how it was going to look. And getting to live that and feel this fulfilled every day, that's a gift all by itself. And then you add in all the other benefits that you get, all the other bonuses, the schedule, the time off, decorate your own office if you want to go there, like all those things. You get to decide what to incorporate into your business and how you feel about it. Mm-hmm. And then feeling a sense of pride that I created this.
That's a wonderful feeling, isn't it? When you just take that one step back and you look at everything and you're like, wow, I made this from nothing.
From nothing. Absolutely right. My first office was about 10 feet by 10 feet. It had $200 worth of used furniture in it, an old computer that I'd had for several years in college. And I think that was it. That was pretty much it. Maybe some pens that I got from the bank or something like that. That was how I started my business. And now I have this beautiful team that supports me, and beautiful clients who have shared the most wonderful testimonials and referrals. All of that matters to me. All those pieces make up this beautiful tapestry, this quilt of this business and the impact that it's had on my life and other people's. And I just wish that so deeply for other entrepreneurs, that you really live into your passion.
Would you say that is the guiding principle for your business?
Yes, absolutely. And it's all about love. It's all about amplifying love and releasing the judgment and amplifying, bringing more love into the world.
Oh, that's we need more of that anyway, I think.
Yeah, we do. It feels so darn good.
Right. So we've talked about what you love. Is there a mistake that you've made throughout the years that, it just, maybe it would have hung you up, but you found a way to overcome?
Oh yeah. Many mistakes. And the fun part is that because I've allowed so much acceptance into my life, I don't remember a lot of what the specific mistake was, but I can tell you the roots of it for me were staying caught in the scarcity mindset, chasing rather than being open to receiving.
That is an interesting thought. I talk a lot about poverty mindset, as you can see it in people, and they limit the size of their world to just because, like you were saying earlier, I feel safe if the world is this big. I don't feel abundant. I feel limited. But to have that be the root of all the mistakes in your business, even that's a brilliant thought. And we really need to hold on to that.
Yeah. To acknowledge that the things that made me feel the yuckiest were about taking clients I didn't really want to take because it would be a paycheck. Over giving to clients, like discounting to get them to become a client, just to, I'll take what I can get kind of feeling. That was very early on in my work, where I was over giving. My schedule was maxed out, and people on a waiting list, and I was not asking for a lot of buy-in from my clients. And as a coach, we need to have people who are willing to invest in the process, because the investment actually begins the transformation, because it's drawing that line in the sand saying, I want something different now. Not let's see how this works, but I'm going to make something happen from this transaction.
Yes. Now, do you have some way of vetting those clients to make sure that they've got that buy-in?
Absolutely. First of all, I worked on the level of the investment to work with me over the years. And so that's a very powerful piece. I do a consultation. Many people have gone to not doing sales calls or not talking to people before they let them sign up as a client. For me, that's really important, working one-on-one with someone that I talk to them first to make sure they're a good fit for what I'm doing and what I'm capable of doing, because I want to know for sure that I can help them. And then also I get to know, are you in it because you think I can make this happen for you, or you're in it because I get to guide you to make this happen? That's a really powerful thing as a coach, hypnotist, that I can't make it happen. I can't want it for you more than you want it for yourself. And when we talk about the level of investment, it's very easy to hear like, oh, I expected this to be a lot less. And I don't want to chance it. So I'm not going to make this kind of investment. Or, oh, that's exactly, I figured this kind of transformation would cost me some level of investment. And I'm willing to make that investment because I know for myself that when I make this investment, that I'm going to act on it. I'm going to do everything that you suggest that I do. I'm going to show up to my sessions. I'm going to give it my all, and I'm going to actually make the transformation that I've been trying to push through making by myself in the past with no good result. So for my business, it's very important that someone's willing to invest in themselves. And I work with pretty high achieving clients and people who have big plans for themselves. And they know that the only thing standing in their way is their mind.
Mm-hmm.
So helping that.
Now, when we start in our businesses, we typically do have bad clients, just because, like you were saying a minute ago, it's like, if you'll pay me money, I'll take you,
Right.
So how do you recommend people begin up-leveling the quality of their clients?
Up-leveling the quality of their standards right away.
Okay.
Yeah. Not easy. Necessarily even having boundaries, because boundaries make us be on guard. But to set a level of standards, how do you want your business to be? How do you want to feel in your business? Who do you want your clients to be? We've done tons of work on who your ideal client is, right? The client avatar. We talk about that all over the place. Most programs about business start with that because it's that important. Who do we want to spend our time with? What kind of person do we want them to be? And making a decision is taking away everything that's not a good option and really letting what you want to be left standing. And then deciding, okay, this is what I want. And setting a standard is not about perfectionism. It's about recognizing that this is what I want to happen most of the time. We might get ourselves into a situation where it didn't quite work out the way we thought it was going to, right? And those are beautiful lessons. But deciding that this is the way I want things to look. And the standard becomes a matter of fact. If you're not willing to invest, I don't work with you. If you're not willing to do the work, I don't work with you. If you're not willing to show up to your sessions, I don't work with you. If you're not willing to give me the information I need to build this program for you or build this package for you or whatever the business is about, then I don't work with you, because it's a team effort. It gets to be building a team and a partnership with the client for what they get to create.
So many times it's, I think a lot of people, and I know in the past I did, I'm better at saying no now, but this saying no to somebody is, I think it feels like I'm taking something away from myself. But the way you talk about this, saying no to what you don't want is actually saying yes to what you do want.
Yes.
That
It's
kind of pulls you out of the vortex. Instead of getting sucked down, you're lifting yourself up.
Right. Well, even just think of it in terms like this. Say I let myself stay with this bad boyfriend because, well, it's better to have somebody than nobody. But that bad boyfriend treating me not the way I want to be treated and not being the person who I want to build a life with is taking the space of someone else who would be the great boyfriend, the great partner, the one who I want to build a life with. And when we do that with our clients, sometimes we can feel really badly that we're turning them down, like, you're not a good fit for me, like they're not good enough. But it's really just where they're at in their journey that's not in alignment with where you are in your journey. So there's nothing wrong with saying, I'm not a good fit for you at this time. I think this person would be better for you, or this kind of situation would be better for what you need right now. It's a really beautiful gift, rather than entering into a relationship with them and having it be you full of resentment and them feeling that energy, and the whole thing falls apart even worse, right?
Yes.
And being able to say, there's something else for you right now. Maybe we can work together in the future, or maybe I'm just not the right person for you at all. And that's okay for both of us.
And just accepting that. It all comes back to acceptance, doesn't it?
Yes. And it's very important for us to remember that we're not bad because we've turned down a client, or we've fired a client, or we've let them go, or whatever verbiage you want to use. We've been actually really good acknowledging that this is not a good fit. Because if it's not a good fit for you, the client will feel it.
That is true.
And then you're not serving anybody. And if you're not operating at your best energy, then you're not giving your client the best possible result. And that's influencing the rest of your schedule and your clients as well.
That's so true. Okay, so this has been a wonderful discussion. I have really enjoyed just the way you approach entrepreneurship. I think it's beautiful. And it is such a gracious way to, it's a way of treating yourself better. Taking care of yourself rather than settling for whatever comes your way.
Right.
Yes. So if you had one final thing that you would share with our listeners, what would that be?
Have more fun.
Oh, I love that. It should be fun, shouldn't it?
It gets to be so much more fun than we let it be sometimes. When we get in those struggles, when we get in our heads, when we get in scarcity, when we feel like we're chasing, go create something that's not about your business. Go create a piece of art. Go have fun. Go for a walk. Go smell some flowers. Go to a garden. Go get with your friends. Dance your face off. Like, do something that lifts your spirits and shifts your energy. Because fun is actually very, very healing. And doing fun things and letting yourself be creative it's really required for you to release judgment. And then you get to be refreshed and recalibrated, and then you get to refocus and come back to what you were doing. You get to look at it with fresh eyes then.
Rebecca, tell everyone how they can connect with you.
Okay, they can find me at RebeccaWiener.com and healwithhypnosis.com. And I just released a book last week. So if you want to find me on, thank you. It happened really, really fast. Loving Her, 10 Loving Standards to Call Forward the Wealthy Woman Within You is available on Amazon now as well.
Wonderful. So I hope everybody will go check out your website. Definitely buy your book because you have some wonderful things to share with all of us.
Thank you, Kathryn.
Thank you for spending this time with me. You can see why I was so excited about sharing this interview with you, my friends. Isn't she sharing some incredible information that can help us resolve past issues and look forward to the future and have fun doing it? I was so excited to be able to share this with you, and I'm looking forward to what it can do to transform your life and your business. But listen, we covered so much really important ground in this interview, but it all boils down to the fact that it's in your control. Where you take your business, how you grow, and how far you grow it is ultimately up to you. And that's what I'm here for. At as you want to grow it. So if you're brand new and you're just trying to hit a good 5 figures or 6 figures, we can help you do that. But if you're already established and you want to scale your business far beyond into multiple 6 figures, we're there for you as well. If you're ready to transform your business, if you're ready to transform your life and step into your full potential, visit us at Solopreneur Life and definitely check out the hub at solopreneur.life/join hub. Thank you so much for being here, and be sure to subscribe before you tune out so you don't miss a single episode. And in the meantime, have a happy holidays and stay awesome.